Welcome to Hotline TV, everyone. I'm Amy Walter.
And I'm John Mercurio. Flip-flop Charlie Crist has changed his position on drilling for oil off the coast of Florida. Let's talk about this in the context of vice presidential politics. Amy Walter, do you think any of Crist's desire to be John McCain's running mate
I don't know why you would
into his
say
switch?
that, John. That seems like a big stretch.
Well,
you know,
I
I mean, just
understand.
because, you know, in 2006 when he was running for governor, in 1998, when he was running for the Senate, he said absolutely no drilling off the coast.
Or as recently as last month, he was quoted as saying
no
that he stood strongly against drilling.
Coast. But so I don't know why you would even say that. Here's the problem if you're Charlie Crist, which is there's that fine line between trying and then trying too hard, right? And he's certainly been taking one for the team. He goes on TV every 25 minutes. He's willing to give cover to McCain whenever he needs it. But if this hurts him in his own state, then he's not going to be that helpful,
well, it
right?
hurts him in his own state. And also, I mean, the one thing that you know about John McCain is that he does not like sycophants. He doesn't like people who clearly are sucking up to him or sucking up to anyone, frankly, for their own sort of self-serving purposes. I think you saw during the Republican primary, he really developed sort of a dislike of Mitt Romney because he thought of him as somebody who flip-flopped, who changed dispositions solely for the purpose of running for office and hoping to gain votes. I think you see, frankly, for me, a little bit of Romney in Charlie Crist, and I'm wondering, I haven't talked to John McCain about this particular issue, but I'm wondering if he sees, he's a huge fan of the show, he watches it when he can, very busy these days, but I'm wondering if he sees a little bit of Romney in Crist, in this sort of blatant willingness to change his positions for the purposes of hopefully getting a place on the Republican ticket. But you got to look at the news today. He wasn't the only person who sort of looked as though he was bending with the wind. You had Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty, another possible running mate, who didn't go as far as Crist in reversing his position. I don't know if Pawlenty actually had a position on offshore drilling, but he was asked the same question. What do you think about offshore drilling? And he said quite bluntly, I agree with Senator McCain. Well,
and here's the other problem with this, the whole offshore drilling and back and forth. If John McCain, I think the debate that John McCain wins with is one about the gas tax holiday rather than the drilling. I mean, if the argument is, Barack Obama, he's so pie in the sky, he's so like, we'll fix this later, it's not a problem now, so elitist, and all his, liberal friends who don't have to worry, and rich friends who don't have to worry about the cost of gas. Gas tax holiday will at least give people some money back in their pocket. He opposes it. Most Americans approve of it. Let's have that debate. But drilling off the coast, that's not going to help anybody in the next day or 5 days or 5 years. I mean, this is still something that's not, it is not any stronger of an argument in terms of making Obama look out of touch than Obama saying we should do more green energy investment.
One more point on timing I think is really interesting. You saw Crist come out and do his little reversal. You also saw today President Bush in a little bit of unfortunate timing for McCain came out, and he I think has previously supported offshore drilling, but came out today and announced he wants Congress to lift the ban. Really bad timing. I mean, this played right into the DNC and the Obama campaign attempt to call John McCain just the third term of George Bush.
If you were the McCain campaign and you saw that come out last night, you had to just be like, you've got to be kidding me, because John McCain does not need to out-enviro Obama. He's not going to win on that. What he needs to do is just make sure that anything he does is the opposite of what George Bush wants to do.
Or at least there's some distance, maybe
yes.
a week in between the two of them, but 24 hours between the two of them talking on the exact same topic.
Not good.
Not a good thing for the Republican presidential candidate running against essentially the unpopular Republican president. All right, also a new Quinnipiac poll out in Florida today. How do those numbers relate to what we're talking about here?
And these were taken, obviously, before this whole flip-flop-flap. And in that, we see that it looks like the Hillary Clinton voters coming home for Barack Obama. He now has a lead over John McCain in the state. He was behind before that. They get like an 8-point reversal. Now he's up 4 points. More importantly, Charlie Crist, there's no love there in the state for having him on the ticket. Only 16% of voters said that would make them more likely to vote for John McCain. So it's not. So Charlie Crist now has two problems. One, it's not. He's not being seen as a guy to sell. And look, I never feel.
Sometimes governors are too popular that the voters of the state don't want them to leave.
But I think
because they want them to stay in the state and be governor.
And I've never been a big fan of the theory that with the VP you get the state. But I do think that what Charlie Crist would be selling, of course, is the idea of
Being
a
able to
Southern
carry.
governor being able to carry
Sure.
Florida, and also being able to talk to voters in that part of the country or others that have similar viewpoints. That's where the drilling becomes problematic.
Interesting.
All right.
All right, that's all the time we have for Hotline TV. Until tomorrow, I'm John Mercurio.
And I'm Amy Walter. See you next time.